visions and I'm living what you really got if you ain't worried about precision. On a mission, James Bond, pretty women, lavish living, good kush, champagne, fried chicken. Wanna kiss and pull it, sorry there's no mistletoe. Shawty, I can take you home, show me where them whiskers go. I'ma show up by myself, that don't mean I'll leave alone. These words ain't for everybody, take me off a speakerphone. On the ride like a skater, so I get elevated. Be patient, there's a soak, I'm rising elevated. Yeah, I'll always be the freshest, I got on the latest. Couple bars in a row, but another shot of makers. I only feel the sun when the sunrise. Haven't felt you in love in a minute. I only see the truth, cause they tellin' lies. Nosy motherfuckers never mind their business. I only feel the sun when the sunrise. Haven't felt you in love in a minute. I only see the truth, cause they tellin' lies. Nosy motherfuckers better mind their business. I only love her when the day goes. She only busy when the bed go. Late night, laid up, smoking mango. Keep that bright green like a Rigo. Hands on the thighs with my face low. Hustle when the day go, count it when the day go. I only feel alive when the day go. I only feel right when the day go. When I'm feeling great, those my worst days. Better when I'm hungry, tell me when I'm thirsty. Pretty girls tryna fun, promise I'm a holiday. Got a crush on Mary Jane, but music with my Harley. Hey, oh, dry so like Kanye said, dry so. Siri said yeah before I even get home. So don't come aboard, we were tryna ride the boat. Dreaming Ferrari, Lamborghini, new kite. I've been in orbit so long, getting hard to feel my body. I've been waiting for a room, I spent so long in the lobby. But these niggas can't stop me, they and me was microscopic, hey. I only feel the sun when the sunrise. Haven't felt you in love in a minute. I only see the truth, cause they tellin' lies. Nosy motherfuckers never mind their business. I only feel the sun when the sunrise. Haven't felt you in love in a minute. I only see the truth, cause they tellin' lies. Nosy motherfuckers better mind their business. I only love her when the day goes. She only busy when the bed go. Late night, laid up, smoking mango. Keep that bright green like a Rigo. Hands on the thighs with my face low. Hustle when the day go, count it when the day go. I only feel alive when the day go. I only feel right when the day go.
Jake the Rookie, and that's THA, like across the plane, THA. And welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you've seen our content before. Let's get it rolling. Yeah, let's get let's get to it. Should we start with the Thursday game? I don't know. I got tore up by Melvin Gordon and Jerry Judy last week, but I lost because they had very good fantasy performances. Thought they wouldn't be relevant, but they were. Yeah, I think it's there's started him last week. Great job. That's how I feel. Like if you start him, he'll sometimes pop off, you know. But like for me, it's just like I think like he's more likely to get 15 points than he is to get 25. That's not a starter. And I'm talking about 4-point passing touchdowns. I'm talking about the scoring. I'll play Ronald Jones. He's a low grade RB2 flex option. Agreed. And I'm starting Mike Evans. He's questionable, but even if he only plays 10 snaps, you might get a touchdown out of it. So another maybe think about flexing if you got guys on the buy and are, you know, we told you to pick up Scotty Miller this week on our preview video. So what about Gronk? Are you starting Gronkowski yet? No. Yeah, I don't think I've seen him play really. I mean, he's been great in years past. He's definitely was Jameis' preferred target over OJ Howard. But I'm not starting him yet just because I haven't seen anything with Tom Brady yet. Yeah. Oh, before let's say Buccaneers is a streaming defense for just because Thursday night games I like having those defenses in at least give them a look every Thursday, see who's playing. It's just usually not that big of an offensive game. And then on the other side of the ball, Chicago Bears. Nick Foles. It's not in my top 20.
Nick Foles, yeah, I do not have Nick Foles ranked, but
And
he does have some favorable weapons on the other side of the ball. David Montgomery is a little disappointing, I will say. I've got him ranked
yeah,
at
and the
25, but honestly, I think he's going to
yeah,
continue to go lower. He's pretty inefficient with the ball.
he had the good week too, and then since then I've been paying a little bit of attention, and it just doesn't seem like he's getting anything going. So I don't expect much from him.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be happy if he gets you more than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, I think, again, it's kind of in a situation where there are some guys, there's a lot of guys I'm starting to, I probably think about starting over him. I think as the week goes on, I'm going to start to be a lot higher on the player like Dearness Johnson, maybe like a Myles Gaskin, but he's going to continue to fall throughout the ranks unless he can really pick up that performance, and he's going to become really touchdown dependent.
I agree.
So-
Let's see some this week, Montgomery.
Yeah, so I guess he's a flex play, but just temper your expectations.
I'm sitting him in the league that I have him on.
Yeah, I think he's
So-
a really low end flex play. And again, it's
And
a touchdown upside, but there's a lot of players that are ranked currently below him that do have a lot more upside. So it is really situationally to your team, but there are some players with a lot more upside. As far as wide receivers go, obviously Allen Robinson. I mean, what can you say about him? Must start. He's just been incredible. It doesn't matter who's throwing the ball. He's going to get the targets and he'll get the catches. He is a extremely talented wide receiver.
Yeah, agree. Start him. It's just he's Mr. You can depend on him.
Yeah, absolutely. He has such a safe floor. No question about that. You're going to fire him up. Still haven't seen a second receiver emerge. In that offense, they had a pretty low offensive output last week, so we'll see if they can tick that up last week. But
Yeah, there's no second receiver I'm starting yet. Jimmy Graham may be streamable.
yeah, he's inside the top 12 for us.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Graham, right on the edge there. I have him at 11. You have him at 12, and he's definitely got some chemistry there with Nick Foles that he didn't have with Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, I think
that's true.
we've got him ranked above a fair amount of decent players. I guess Austin Hooper and Mike Gesicki. I'm a little higher on Mike Gesicki. The consensus. Oh, actually, Jimmy
put
Graham.
Mike
Sorry,
Gesicki-
that's actually our consensus is off. Sorry, I did. Jimmy Graham's a little lower on the consensus, but I have Gesicki at 8, but Jimmy Graham at 10, and you have him. Or sorry, Jimmy Graham at 11. You have him at 12.
So Gesicki's 11 consensus. I didn't move him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
But I'm still decently high on Gesicki. I think Gesicki has a good week. We'll obviously see. I have Gesicki inside my top 10, and you have him outside the 12. So
I'm just bitter from losing last week to someone who had Mark Andrews, and I played Gesicki. So that's probably why I'm
yeah,
low
that'll
on him.
do it.
So
So are you gonna start Chicago's defense at all?
I am going to start Chicago's defense. It's Thursday night. Tom Brady has been known to throw his pick sixes, man. Like,
Yeah.
maybe throws another one. Like, and it's just Chicago's defense is a dependable defense. Like, their team is built around the defense. It's never a risky start. It's always pretty safe, no matter who they're playing.
Yeah.
Because it's just, they're not going to give up 30 points. They're just not.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the Thursday night game. Moving on to Sunday, we'll start things off with the Bills and the Titans, and this is a really interesting matchup for me. These are two really good teams, actually, and they've been really good as of late. So, obviously, Tennessee actually had another. So let's just say this right now and get this out of the way. Full disclaimer: this is being recorded Wednesday night, and as far as COVID-19, there was a Raiders offensive lineman who was placed on reserve. Another Titans player, Corey Davis, was placed on COVID reserve.
Yeah.
So, and another Stephon Gilmore of the Patriots tested positive. So they're waiting on the Chiefs results. So we don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these things. Just be prepared for literally anything at this point in the fantasy season. I mean, there are guys.
Literally.
I mean, it's just at this point you have to be ready to have somebody out there last second, and if that means stashing a Frank Gore on your bench a certain week because there's a potential COVID matchup, you know what? It's better to have someone out there than not. So just be prepared. Always be aggressive on the waivers. And these rankings are as of right now. There's definitely a potential that we see cancellations this week of the games or postponements. So
Yeah, absolutely. Keep an eye on those Titans. I missed Derrick Henry last week from the bye, and we'll see what the NFL does if they add a week 18 or a
yeah.
what's the deal?
Yeah, we'll see. So as of right now, it's going forward. Pretty straightforward with the quarterbacks here. With the Bills' offense, I mean, as far as quarterback, obviously you're starting Josh Allen. He's going to be inside the top 5 for me pretty much every single week going forward.
Yeah, let's see where did we have him this week?
We have the consensus at 4.
Census at 4. So yeah, I think Josh Allen is a safe, secure start every game. He's one of those guys where it doesn't matter the matchup.
Yeah, they run a lot of red zone rushing plays for him, and he gets a lot of rushes inside the red zone. So obviously he's a must start. As far as running back goes, it looks like Zach Moss might be back. He's questionable. It looks like he might see some play. I'm still a little bit high on Devin Singletary. He had a pretty good week last week. I am worried about that, so I think you should temper expectations, but I do have him still inside the top 20.
Yeah, I have him right outside the top 20, but I think he's going to be pretty good. I just think Titans run defense maybe is good. I think coming off the bye, they're at least fresh.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So I think maybe Titans get an early lead. Buffalo has to come back, throw the ball.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Stephon Diggs is obviously he's must start every week at this point. He's going to be inside the top 10, inside the top 12 every single week, I believe.
Yeah.
Or most weeks. I'll say he's going to be inside the top 12 most weeks.
I'm very high on Stephon Diggs. I am a big fan. I see that he's one of the best. He's one of the most talented route runners in the game.
Yeah.
He's that guy. So start him every week. WR1 secure start.
Yeah, so John Brown was back last week, and I think John Brown is a wonderful WR2, and I think he has a lot of upside. I do have him ranked at 32, but I think he's a big upside play, and I think after this week he's going to continue to move up and up. He is definitely a second target in that option, and that moves Cole Beasley down, but
he's a second target, and I like him over Cole Beasley just because John Brown is a deep threat.
yeah.
Cole Beasley is more of I'm going to catch a 7-yard pass here and there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But John Brown's going to catch that 25-yard catch.
Yeah, and Josh Allen has been money on those deep balls this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And are you starting the defenses at all?
Let's see. Am I?
You have them at 11. The Bills.
Yeah, 12-man league. I'm thinking about streaming them,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna see if I can grab someone
they're
higher
a good
on my.
enough. They're a good enough defense. They're talented enough defense, and they're well enough coached to where their defense has a pretty. They're going to be a close to a top 12 play every week just based on that. But again, Titans have a good offense. Uh, so how do you?
It's on the road.
It's on the road, absolutely. So how do you feel about Ryan Tannehill?
Um, I'm not starting them. I think it's gonna be more run heavy offense. I think they're gonna grab the lead and then try to
Yeah,
clock. And
we both have them at 17. Again, Titans are a very run heavy offense. I think there's fantasy relevant pass catchers, but I think it is definitely just a very run heavy game plan. And Ryan Tannehill is definitely a quarterback who, on a good matchup, is a really good play. But I think this week you'd have to temper expectations, and there are some potential streamers out there.
yeah, with the COVID-19, Humphreys and Davis out. AJ Brown's limited practice, maybe coming back. I have him. I
It sounds
think
like AJ
right.
Brown's gonna play.
Okay, so he's 35.5 consensus. My favorite target in this offense is Jonnu Smith. I think he sees 8 targets this week.
Yeah.
And
Derrick Henry, obviously, we don't need to say anything about that. He's a must-start. You drafted him as your RB1.
yeah,
But AJ Brown,
Uh,
I think we should wait to see on Friday, because if he has a full participation in practice on Friday, I think AJ Brown is a really good play. Actually, I think he has a lot of upside. He was great with Ryan Tannehill last year, and obviously he only played part of one game this year, so we haven't really gotten to see. I have him at 29, and you have him at 40, so I'm a lot higher on him. I think he's a really solid flex play, and I think, again, full participation on Friday, especially if they go ahead and play the game. If Corey Davis doesn't play, I think his upside. I think he has a lot of upside, and I think I can see somewhere in that like 8 to 9 targets.
Corey Davis and Humphreys are both not playing, so I'm wondering if Brown just gets smothered by Tre'Davious White. Like he doesn't even have any other
Yeah,
assignments.
yeah. I have him at 29. I don't know how much higher he'll move, but I think he could definitely be a really solid flex play. So, are you starting the Tennessee defense at all?
Starting Tennessee defense. I'm starting Gostowski. Tennessee Titans defense. I'm not
No.
starting.
Titans have good offense this year.
Yeah, Buffalo is gonna put up points, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to the next game then. Jaguars Texans. Gardner Minshew. I'm starting Gardner Minshew this week. I've got him at QB9. You've got him at 10. He's an awesome streamer play. I think he's a quarterback that if you're iffy at quarterback, you should have him rostered, and you should be starting him on matchups like this against Houston.
I agree. Like, it's gonna be a weird game that I think scores probably around between 50, 65 points.
I could definitely see a high scoring game, and I think we definitely see at least 3 touchdowns out of Gardner Minshew this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think there'll be 3, if not 1 on the ground. So look out for that.
Yeah, so going to the running side of the ball, we've obviously seen the emergence of James Taylor. We actually both have him at 8 this week. I mean, what more can you say? You probably picked him up off the waiver wire, and you either traded him or you've been starting him every week. And
Yes, James Robinson.
I mean,
Um,
came from I think it seems like, honestly, it seems like every year there's like one. There's a kind of a guy that just comes out of nowhere off the waiver, and James Robinson seems to be that guy. I mean, what more do you want from him? We've got him as a top 10 play, and until he shows us otherwise, he's going to continue to be inside the top 12 every single week.
yeah, being very productive, getting involved in the passing game. He's just He's what more can you ask for a fantasy running back?
Yeah, he's and that's the big. He's been getting a
Especially
lot of
on
involvement in
waiver.
the passing game.
Yep, and he's been in that getting across the plane very frequently.
Absolutely. So receivers, DJ Chark came back last week and had a huge game. He had 95 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
I'm feeling
did.
good about
He
DJ Chark this week. I've got
out.
him at number 10 and you got him at number 11. And obviously you drafted him as probably your WR2. And I'm feeling really good about DJ Chark. He has huge upside this week.
I agree. DJ Chark is that guy for Minshew. He gets down in the red zone. That's who he's looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, so, like you said, you predicted 56 points, and I'm not going to really be starting any of these defenses.
Yeah, I have Jacksonville maybe as I think I have him 15. No, I didn't rank him.
Nope.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think we see a lot of points in that. So then obviously we got to go to Deshaun Watson on the Texans side of the football.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson is a start for me.
Yeah, we've actually got them both at 7 there. So Deshaun Watson again is a player where I think overall for a season you got to temper expectations, but when he does have good matchups, he's a start.
Yeah, and listen, I think he could be Mr. Garbage Time quarterback this year, you know? Just rack up the points.
We have
and
yet to see a huge game from him this year, and I think this might be it.
yeah. Let's hope Houston can get the win for Houston fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. 0-4 is not a fun place, and 0-5 is even worse.
Yeah. Agreed. And then David Johnson, starting or sit him?
I'm starting. He's one of those players where he's got a decent floor because he's got touchdown upside, but he's just kind of slow, and
I actually like David Johnson this week against Jacksonville. I think he gets in the end zone.
Yeah.
I think he sneaks in.
I've got him at number 19, so he is a RB2. I like the matchup. I think overall in the season, if he has a good game, and I don't think you can expect a really good game. If he has a good game, you should go out try and trade him. I think he has really low upside, a decent floor.
I think he's gonna have a decent game. I don't think you can expect a huge game from him. No 30 points, but expect 18.
Yeah, and I think if he hits 18, I think if he gets 18, it's because he gets 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns in 18, so he only gets 60 yards.
Yeah.
And
if he gets 18 points, I think
that's less than 60 yards.
I don't think David Johnson's getting 100 yards. I think he's.
I think he'll get 100 yards.
All right, we'll see. We will see. But
or close. Between 80 and 100.
Yeah, we're not that far off in the rankings. I just think I'm just a little lower on David Johnson for overall for the season. He's just not what he used to be.
Bill O'Brien's out of there. We're gonna see how they do it now.
Yeah, hopefully they use him a little more creatively.
Yeah, and as for receivers, I got Will Fuller as a flex option or wide receiver 2.
I've got him at 25 and you got him at 28. I like the matchup. And you just not a lot of targets in that offense.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks just hasn't done anything yet.
No.
You probably regret drafting him. You're not starting him. You probably see all these guys on our list and I'd rather start him over Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
So
a lot of guys. I mean, he's not even in the top 40, so nothing to see there. We're not starting in the defense. We'll go into the next game. We got the Bengals versus the Ravens. Joe Burrow, I think, is a great streamer option. with that being said, I got him at 12. Baltimore, I don't think is the defense we got, so I think he's a play in a 12-man league. But I've got him ranked over Drew Brees, but I also am super low on Drew Brees. But he's at 12, so.
Yeah, I'm playing him over a Drew Brees, but I think I would sneak in Kirk Cousins this week. If you have a Joe Burrow and you see Kirk Cousins on the waiver wire, got an empty spot on your roster,
Yeah.
go sneak him.
Teddy
this
Bridgewater,
week. I think
maybe?
he has a better. Or Teddy Bridgewater, absolutely.
Yeah, I think those were our two streaming quarterbacks. If you watch the show on Tuesday, or it's up on YouTube, our two streaming quarterbacks of the week were Kirk Cousins and Teddy Bridgewater. So,
but Joe Burrow has such high upside. He's gonna pass the ball so much game. Like
he's getting to that
any
point
game.
where you can probably just start him every week and feel pretty good about it. Especially if you're in a
can feel
12-man
all
league.
right about it. You'll at least know there's upside.
Yeah. So if I had Drew Brees or like a Ben Roethlisberger, I would be starting Joe Burrow if I could. Something like that. So last week we saw the big breakout game of Joe Mixon.
Yeah, that was huge for Joe Mixon owners. I feel like they were on the edge of their seats. If he didn't get traded to you this week or the week before, because he was underperforming and he came out of nowhere. It was I think we see it more this year. I'm confident in it now.
Yeah. I think
it really only took one game for me to see, like, I think they involve him more. I think they saw what he does for them.
He had some passing upside, so we've both got him just outside the top 10. There's just, there's a lot of good running backs, I'll say.
It's the first official bye week, so some of these guys are going to be higher than they normally are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Joe Mixon, I've got him at 11, and you've got him, let's see, at 13.
Yeah. Because, like, normally I don't think I'd have David Johnson in my top 15. That's just not a thing
absolutely.
we normally do.
Well, it's wide receivers. Tyler Boyd, for me, is becoming a must-start. He's a really, really solid WR2 with WR1 upside. He's, especially if you're in any type of PPR format.
Yeah, he leads target share for the Bengals. So, in a team that throws the ball maybe 60 times a game, some games.
Yeah.
We've seen it. That's a good guy to plug in. And T. Higgins is another guy we're maybe thinking about flexing.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think... Do we have him in here? I don't think we do. He's just outside our top 40.
Okay, well, I think T. Higgins will have to move up for me. I'll have to take a look at that again. T. Higgins should be up. T. Higgins was on our waiver wire play, or on our waiver show.
Or maybe... Oh, is he right in between? Hold on.
But yeah, T. Higgins, I think, again, and we had talked about this on our last show. T. Higgins, I don't know if he's necessarily a play this week, but I think he should be picked up and rostered, and I think he has a lot of upside going forward as the number 2 target in that offense.
Yeah, and I think he could even be a play this week. So
yeah, I think he'd be a low-end flex play, but again, he has a lot of upside. Especially if it was like a DFS, like a DFS, I'd totally take a flyer on him. A player like T. Higgins in a DFS league, absolutely. We're both pretty high on
tight end.
Yeah, I'm not the tight end. I was gonna say we're pretty high on Baltimore's defense, but not Cincinnati's. Obviously, we're not gonna be starting them this week.
No, I don't. I'm probably not gonna start them unless they're playing the Jets. So
yeah. So on the other side of the football, Lamar Jackson. I mean, must start. You draft him as your quarterback. Don't really need to say much there. We've got him as a consensus number 3 quarterback this week.
Yeah, he was questionable. He hasn't missed practice much, but I feel like they just give him a day off.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of a mess as far as running back goes. I don't really want to be a part of that backfield. It looks like they're pretty committed to a 3-headed approach. I guess if you're going to have to go with one week to week, it's going to be, I'll throw out Mark Ingram, but that could definitely change at any point in the season.
And I'm not even like so solid on that. Like
it could change this week.
I'll flip a coin between Ingram and Dobbins.
Yeah, and then
Gus Edwards is the guy they use if they have the lead.
Yeah.
So it might even be Gus Edwards this week, and he's not even on our list. So watch out.
Yeah. So we're trying to avoid that situation. I guess Mark Ingram falls inside the top 30, but I think he could probably continue to drop. There's a couple players that right now currently he's ranked above that I would probably throw out on my lineup just based on a season long, what I had in a season long league. But Hollywood Brown really has kind of been.
He's been the only guy. I have Lamar Jackson as my quarterback, and his passing yards are not where you would like to see them, not where they were last year. Not MVP numbers.
Yeah, I've got him at 28, and you've got him at 31, so he's a really low-end flex play at best. The only target I like on this offense is Mark Andrews. I think that's Lamar's blanket. So yeah, absolutely.
Safe.
Obviously, you're starting him every single week. He's going to be a top 5, probably a top 3, top 4 tight end every single week. He was our consensus. Let's see, where does he make it? He was consensus number 4. So don't really need to say much about Mark Andrews. Starting him, I guess Hollywood Brown, low end flex play, right around that top 30. But again, I'm not feeling great about it. I guess he has that big play upside, but just
Baltimore's defense and special teams, maybe. We saw Duvernay take the ball for a touchdown last week. So if you get return points, Baltimore is a play. But you already knew that.
Yeah,
you've been
absolutely. And we both have Baltimore's defense inside the top 10, so they're a great play. And they're a great play most weeks on any matchup against most teams.
They're
not
probably
like the Chiefs.
drafted. I mean, I'm not a defense drafter, but I'm guessing for defense drafters, they were like one of the top 3 drafted.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go on to the next game. We got the Panthers at the Falcons, and I think this could be a really fantasy-friendly game here. We got a game on a Sunday afternoon. Plays well for both teams. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is a great streaming option. He was our number 1 streaming quarterback this week, if you checked out the show.
Yeah, I absolutely like it. I mean, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. I might have a little bit of bias.
Yeah.
I liked what Teddy Bridgewater did here.
You've got him at 8. I've got him at 10. And that's huge for Teddy Bridgewater to have him ranked that high. I mean, obviously, it's all matchup based.
Atlanta Falcons are the worst against the quarterback in fantasy football match this year. So I expect Teddy Bridgewater to have a floor of 20 points, I think. I think it's safe to even say that.
You heard it here. No, I agree with you. I think we see at least 3 touchdowns from Teddy Bridgewater. I think
3 touchdowns, 250 plus yards at least.
I could totally agree with you there. So Teddy Bridgewater is inside the top 10 we're starting, which means
upside.
Yeah, definitely has rushing upside, which means we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start Mike Davis too. Obviously, what more do you want to see from him the last 2 weeks? Mike Davis is gonna be inside the top 10 for us. If he's on your team, you got to figure out a way to get him in your lineup because he's just putting up points. Yeah. He's a huge target for Teddy Bridgewater. He's seeing 6, 7, 8 targets a game.
Yeah, while you have Mike Davis and he's being used, you better be playing him, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Until McCaffrey comes back, play Mike Davis every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a top 15 play going forward. So, and as far as wide receivers go, I mean, this is another one of those situations where for me, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I got to start Robbie Anderson, right?
Yeah, he's been the favored target over DJ Moore. DJ Moore's maybe a flex play. I got him at 24, so low. And WR2 flex play. Um, I just, I, I, I'd be more confident starting Robbie Anderson. If
Yeah,
it
we're
was a
both
top
pretty high on
15.
Robbie Anderson. I have him at 14. You have him at 12. So we're
Yeah,
pretty high on him, and I feel good about that. I do. I really feel good about starting Robbie Anderson this week. He's had a great season so far, and I think he continues that this week, especially against a favorable matchup against Atlanta.
and deep threat guys are just their upside is just you want to plug them in just because you're like, oh, there goes my 40-yard catch, I'm set.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go to the other side of football. Then we'll go to the Falcons, which I think this is just going to be a high-scoring affair. I'll go ahead and start Matt Ryan. He had a poor week last week, but I'm feeling good about this being a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I agree. Start Matt Ryan.
Todd Gurley last week. Temper expectations. He had 2 touchdowns. Temper expectations. I think could have a decent week. Obviously, it's against Carolina, so I think this is going to be one of his better games of the season. But again, he's just kind of a touchdown dependent player. But I think he could see that end zone again this week. They use him a lot in the end zone.
Absolutely. Don't expect any long runs like I've said before, but Todd Gurley is going to get solid work. He's an Atlanta Falcons running back. Something you like having in fantasy
Yeah.
football.
Absolutely, that's a team that scores points, and again, he gets the usage, so he's going to be a top 20 play for me most weeks.
Agreed.
As far as wide receivers go, I don't think Julio plays this week. He seems pretty banged up. I don't think I'd play him even if he was, because I think you got to make other plans. Calvin Ridley last week was the big one. He had 0. He didn't have any catches last week.
I think he comes back with a redemption week, to be honest.
Me too.
I'm not super confident in him. Maybe they sit him. Maybe they just tank for Trevor. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
We do have him. We have him both at 8. So he's slipped a little bit in the rankings, but again, I think
That's not even slipped. He just rose super high. He performed above and beyond what he was drafted as, and
yeah,
I think 8 is
yeah.
fair and solid. Even though he had a 0 last week, I'm not giving up faith in Calvin Ridley.
I totally agree. I have Russell Gage as 38, so maybe
Yeah, outside my top 40.
Yeah.
But
maybe if
Just-
another pass catcher gets injured or something crazy happens.
yeah, didn't think what's his name, Hayden Hurst is that great of a start, but I am starting him in my league.
I have him at number
I got
10.
him.
I think he could be a good play this week. I think this is a really fantasy friendly matchup, and if you're gonna play your Atlanta guys against a team, it's gonna be the Falcons or the Panthers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just picked the wrong tight end every time.
Yeah,
So
it's tough.
that's my issue. So that's the only reason I'm saying this not so enthusiastically. But I have him at 11, so start Hayden Hurst.
Yeah,
I'm starting Hayden Hurst.
and I'm not gonna start any of the defenses in this
Go ahead,
matchup.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, I think there will be, big points, just like last week. I think there's going to be a lot of points this year, especially with the no fans. I think that helps the offense.
I totally agree. We'll move on to the Raiders and the Chiefs, and I'm not really going to start Derek Carr. He's not going to crack that top 20 there.
No, not for me.
Josh Jacobs, obviously a must start every single week. Chiefs have you can definitely run the ball against the Chiefs.
It's Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller every single week. You don't need to ask us.
Yeah. I don't think we need to get cute. Both of those players are going to be inside pretty much the top 10 of their respective position every single week and are absolute must starts and set it and forget it. As far as everyone else, maybe by the end of the year we see a wide receiver that ends up being a flex play, but until we see that, it's just Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs being started on that offense.
Yeah, we have Renfro at 35 consensus. It's maybe it's not my favorite play.
Maybe in a DFS league.
It's still not my favorite play in a DFS league. I would get someone cheaper and then go with somebody more expensive.
Yeah.
And as far as defense goes, I'm not starting Oakland's defense.
Yeah.
Las Vegas defense.
Las Vegas, that's right.
And Kansas City, Pat Mahomes, number 1 quarterback this week.
Yeah, I mean, this is another offense that's, for the most part, it's got some pretty easy play. Patrick Mahomes is going to be a top 5 quarterback every single week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is obviously a must-start every single week. Tyreek Hill is obviously a must-start every week. Travis Kelce is obviously a must-start every week. You have Sammy Watkins ranked at 26. I don't have him ranked. He's just outside my top 40.
Yeah, I had Pat Mahomes at number 1, so I figured I should put somebody else in my top 40.
Yeah.
I think Watkins has a big week, actually. I think he just beats up on those receivers. I think he's a possession guy, and I think it's just gonna... I don't know if the Raiders blitz as much as we've seen Baltimore do, so I don't know if we see those big plays. I think we see more short passes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see.
It's just for me. I don't like playing the game of Mecole Hardman and Sammy Watkins. It's just who's gonna catch the deep ball.
Well, yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, so I'll start the Chiefs defense. I feel okay about that. I have them at 11. So top 12, I think. I've met 11.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it, but it's not like a terrible play.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go on to the next game here then. Cardinals versus Jets. And, it's obviously a must start every single week. You got to start the defense against the Jets.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and again, Kyler Murray obviously has been phenomenal this year. He has such high upside. He's obviously a must start. He's going to be inside the top 7 pretty much every single week. So you're starting Kyler Murray. It looked like last week Kenyon Drake left with the injury. Looks like they said he just had the wind knocked out of him and he's fine now. But he's had a pretty disappointing outing so far.
Yeah, as far as ADP goes, he went pretty high, and I'm starting to temper expectations, but don't be surprised if he just snaps week 13, 14, 15, 16.
Just got our first question from Director's Cut. Just got Mike Thomas for OBJ, Jerry Jeudy. Just got Michael Thomas for OBJ, Jerry Jeudy, and Myles Gaskin. Thoughts? I hope you're not talking about the Mike Thomas on the Bengals. No, I'm just kidding. I think you got a great trade. If you actually, Director's Cut, actually on our Tuesday, actually yesterday on our show, we did 3 players to trade away, and Odell Beckham was one of them. So I think you actually did really well there, in my opinion.
I always like to know the rest of your team.
Yeah,
That's
I
just-
guess if you could say like your running backs and your receivers, but from off the top, you probably got Myles Gaskin potentially if you're in a 10-man league, you maybe got Jerry Jeudy off the waivers.
Off the waivers, both of them. So
We got another question from No Name. I traded away Gibson. I'm assuming Antonio Gibson plus Jay Jefferson for Hopkins. Standard scoring. Wide receiver, you've got Hopkins, Ridley, Chark, Slayton, and Judy. Running back, you got Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders. Our guy Jake here has Jonathan Taylor and Miles Sanders in our league. Kelly
and Hopkins.
and
I just
Hopkins.
traded for DeAndre Hopkins too.
So let me say this. Again, on our show, you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback. On our show, we're really high on Justin Jefferson here. I will say, disclaimers notice, we are Minnesota Vikings fans. But I think there's full reason to be really high on Justin Jefferson. But you have DJ Chark and Calvin Ridley, and you got Hopkins. So I think you managed to do all right because you'd be stuck with some really tough decisions. And in fantasy, it is kind of nice to eliminate some decisions there. So I think you did really well if you traded away Gibson and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
It is standard scoring. It is standard scoring, Jake. So I do like Hopkins a lot more in standard scoring than like play.
I like him more in PPR, but I like Jefferson a little bit more in standard scoring.
Yeah, I guess I really like that trade for No Name, your team. I really do actually. I think that's a great trade because you have Ridley and Chark at your flex, and Jonathan Taylor and Miles Sanders at your running backs, and you just picked up Hopkins. So I think it's a great trade.
Yeah. I mean, Hopkins is just it's the safest floor you can get as a wide receiver, I think. It's just, I mean, so I've had him some years where he has bad games, but that was with Houston. I don't think it's going to happen with Arizona. He underperformed last week, less than 10 points. I get that. But
Yeah.
I like the
Jeez.
trade too.
Okay, so
Good job. Dwayne.
Director's cut. The director's cut. Jake had traded, who received Michael Thomas for OBJ, Jerry Jeudy, and Myles Gaskin. He's in a 10-man PPR league, and he has
Yeah.
Chris Carson, Mike Davis at running back. He has Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin, and George Kittle. That's a really good
That's good.
starting lineup, man.
Yeah.
And he has Christian McCaffrey.
I was just about to ask. I was like, I hope you got McCaffrey on your bench.
That's this really stacked team. You got
Okay.
McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, and Michael Thomas, and
Yeah, you might
Chris
win some money
Carson
this year,
and
but-
George Kittle.
Whatever you're playing for, first place.
Yeah, I mean,
Props or whatever it is.
you see, and here's the thing about you. I assume you did not draft a quarterback, or if you did, you drafted super low. And here at Across the Plane Fantasy Football, at least I guess Jake isn't, but I'm always a fan of not drafting a quarterback, or if you do, draft them outside of the top 6, top 7 rounds, so you can have a really stacked team and take some flyers on some players that could end up being really good.
Listen, I heard Lamar Jackson was a running back, so I grabbed him in the 4th round. Okay.
Yeah. I guess situation we're not hating on Jake, but you got a great team, director Scott. I'd take you to win. I'd take you to win. Win your league for sure.
Yeah, that's a good team. I like.
That's a really good team. Absolutely. You're 1-3 right now. You know what?
Hey, me too, but I got a smile on my face, and my team looks good
Yeah.
still.
The thing is about fantasy is not all 1-3 teams are created equal.
Agree.
Your team is getting getting healthier and healthier. Michael Thomas is getting healthier. If you can hang on, honestly, if if you can just hang on, usually in fantasy leagues, you know, if you can go like 7-6, you'll probably make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you can hang on for a couple more weeks for your injuries to pass by, you got a solid team. So where were we? We're talking Cardinals Jets. Cardinals football, pretty easy. As far as quarterback, you're starting Kyler Murray. You're going to start DeAndre Hopkins.
We just talked about Kenyon Drake.
Yeah. Christian Kirk's just been disappointing this year. He's just droppable in all formats for me.
Yeah, you know, we say that, and he's gonna
Appreciate it, Director's Cut. You have a great night as well, man.
He's been kind of injured, so yeah, I'm not starting Christian Kirk.
No.
Definitely starting Hopkins.
Starting the defense.
Not starting the tight end.
We're starting the defense, though. We're starting Arizona's defense for sure.
Yeah, I just picked him up off the waiver wires. I'm a defense streamer. That's how I roll. I had Buccaneers defense, who I also has as a play, but I just have Arizona ranked a little higher, so I went and grabbed them.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the other side of the football, the Jets are pretty abysmal. It looks like Le'Veon Bell's eyeing a comeback, but even
I'm not starting any Jets. Can we just stop?
well, okay. No,
Jamison Crowder.
Jamison Crowder. We'll give Jamison Crowder respect. I think he's a great player, especially if you're in a PPR format. Jamison Crowder is an awesome flex play. I think he consistently will get you at least 6 catches.
I agree. You can start Jamison Crowder.
Yeah, so
nobody else.
And again, going forward, we might see Le'Veon Bell as a flex play just on usage alone. I mean, he pre-injury, this season he was playing 100% of the offensive snaps. So again, pure usage alone, Le'Veon Bell might come back and turn out to be a flex play, but that would be it at best. But not this week.
Yeah, he's inactive this week. Frank Gore is 3,000 and
3,000, 800 ranked years old, however years old and ranked he is.
Yeah, so
about as old as he is ranked. So not startable and too just old. So
yes, sir. And next game is
we'll go Eagles at the Steelers. We'll start with the Eagles. I'm really not high on a lot of these Eagles players. We're gonna sit Carson Wentz in any 10 or 12, 14-man format there. A lot of guys.
We're gonna drop Carson Wentz in any 10, 12, and 14-man format here.
A lot of guys out there. Miles Sanders. Usage is going to get him a decent play, but I think you got to temper expectations. I've got him at 15. You've got him at 17, so he's a middle tier RB2, but I think you got to temper expectations, and he's kind of touchdown dependent this week.
Yeah, I think he's always kind of touchdown dependent, to be honest. I'm a Miles Sanders in our league is on my team, and I have him at the flex as of now. Still up in the air on it. You know, I always like to tinker. And, 17. I think he's starting him. And if you're in running back trouble, you're definitely happy to start him.
Yeah.
But
it's just Pittsburgh's such a tough matchup. I'm not really going to start any of the wide receivers also for that team.
No.
I guess I'm starting Zach Ertz. I've got him at number 5. Goddard's out. I think he can get peppered with targets. I think he sees 6 catches at least this week, and I think Zach Ertz has a good week.
Yeah, I got him at 9. I think Philly. I don't think this game scores that much. Like I want it to, but I don't think it does.
Yeah, and I think Zach Ertz has the highest chance of receiving that touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, I think he always does.
Yeah, especially with Goddard out now. So we'll go to the Steelers side of the football. Ben Roethlisberger, a player that I'm not that high on this week, or really most weeks. I've got him at 11, consensus 11. So, it kind of he's gonna be in that like low 11 to 15 most weeks, I guess.
He's a streaming play. I play him over Drew Brees. I play him over Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Play him over Jared Goff.
Mhm.
But I think Ben Roethlisberger. You know what you're gonna get. He's gonna throw the ball
Yeah.
probably. So
Absolutely.
you get that.
James Conner, we're starting James Conner. He's number 12 in our rankings, and we actually both of them have him at number 12. I mean, he's been really good when on the field, and looks like he's going to be healthy. He had an extra week off, which I think plays in his favor, and you start him. You feel really good. He's got a lot of upside this week.
Yeah, James Conner coming off the bye, favorable matchup. Start him.
Yeah.
You knew that already. You probably drafted him pretty high.
Yeah, so as far as receivers go, Juju Smith-Schuster, you drafted him as probably your WR2. I've got him ranked at 20. You've got him at 23, so definitely a little bit lower, but he's got some upside.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know what I think Juju Smith-Schuster gets some catches, maybe less than 100 yards, just maybe like a couple catches for some 80 or something, 6 or 7 for 80, and no touchdown. I think the touchdown goes to Ebron on like 10-yard pass or something.
Yeah, and then a player that we actually who's coming back from injury, Deontay Johnson, both cracks the top 30. I think is a decent flex play. He's got upside, and he was actually leading the team in targets this prior to his injury. So I think this week I'm just tempering expectations this week, but I think he definitely is going to be a really good player going forward.
Agreed. I like Deontay Johnson. You might even see him ahead of Smith-Schuster going forward in the season.
Absolutely. And so Pittsburgh Steelers, you're kind of starting them most weeks, barring a fantastic offensive team that's playing them. So you're going to start the Pittsburgh defense, absolutely.
Yeah, they can turn the ball over. Great defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Patrick.
Yep. So we'll go to the next game. We'll go to Rams versus Washington, and obviously the big news in that game. Dwayne Haskins was benched. Kyle Allen's going to be the starter. I don't think that really changes the outlook of this game or the fantasy relevancy. So I guess we'll start things off with the Rams side of the ball. We'll go Jared Goff. Washington's got a tough team.
Yeah, I'm sitting him this week. I don't know. I got both of the receivers as a start, but I just don't know about Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think he sees a really tough time. Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are going to be starts every single week, as well as Tyler Higbee. But yeah, Jared Goff, I don't feel as good. It's a tough matchup, and I think he turns the ball over.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I think that if it's gonna happen, it might happen in this game. So
yeah. So last week we thought we were gonna have some clarity and see another game of Darrell Henderson controlling the football, but what happened? Malcolm Brown came out, and now we lost all that clarity we thought we had.
Yeah, we don't have any clarity, but I still think it's a Darrell Henderson game. I'm gonna go with the off week, on week, off week, on week.
I agree. I do have Darrell Henderson. I have him at 26. You have him at 19. So he's definitely a lot higher up there.
Yeah, if Rams grab the lead, I like him a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we don't have to get cute. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are obviously most starts every single week. Washington football team, Obviously, you're not starting Kyle Allen. Antonio Gibson, I think, is becoming to be a great flex play every single week. He's got passing upside. Kyle Allen was the quarterback last year, and obviously looked to McCaffrey for that passing upside. So I think Antonio Gibson's a great play this week.
Yeah, I do too. If you played him last week, good job. You're probably satisfied with that. And I got him at 21. You got him at 23. So I think he's got a safe RB2 flex play.
Yeah, definitely does. Terry McLaurin, I think, also has a really safe WR2. I think his value gets hurt a little bit maybe with Kyle Allen just because they don't have that same connection. But I think he can build it, and I think he still has a really safe floor in PPR in any PPR format.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. I don't think he's quarterback dependent on Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, no.
I want to see how he does with Kyle Allen. So like I have some guys probably ranked higher than him because of that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And Logan Thomas, I'm not starting.
No.
And defense, I am not starting.
I think you could start the Rams defense, definitely.
Oh, Rams
Yeah,
defense.
but the
I'm
Washington
starting.
defense, no.
Yeah.
Uh,
Rams defense is actually probably my number 2 defense.
Yeah, Rams definitely a good defense to play this week. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next side of the thing, and that's Dolphins at 49ers, and looks like it's going to be Nick Mullins, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. We're not really sure. Either way, I'm not feeling too good about it, so I'm tempering expectations for the whole 49ers offense. However, Miami offense has looked pretty good under Ryan Fitzmagic. He's had a couple of good games now in a row.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick, I don't know. It's hard for me to start him on the road against. He's just such a wild card. It's just hard for me to start him in any situation. But like, you could see 20 plus points from Fitzmagic any given Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's now 3 in a row. He's had 20 plus points. So
You have him at 14. I have him at 19. So
Yeah.
you're higher on him than I am.
yeah, and he's got great upside. So again, he's always for me. He's always going to be a streaming option unless he's playing a fantastic defense because he's just got big touchdown upside and can have a big game any week.
Yeah, and as far as running the ball, they got Breida, Howard, and Gaskin. And Gaskin seems like the one who is going to produce more than the other two.
Yeah, he's definitely the guy you want. It seems like they're only bringing in Jordan Howard for goal line touches, which is kind of a bummer and definitely hurts his value. But I think he's in any PPR format, he can definitely be a low end flex going forward.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're in running back trouble, you probably grabbed him and are starting him anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Devontae Parker, as long as Ryan Fitzpatrick is at quarterback, is a low end WR1, solid WR2.
Yeah, he's got a super safe floor. He hasn't combined the big game with the touchdown this yet, but he is going to lead that team in targets in a passing heavy offense, and yeah, he's got such a good floor where you can expect almost double digit targets every single week for him when he's healthy, and it seems like he's getting healthier and healthier. So I think Devontae Parker's a really great play this week.
And as far as the other receivers go, I'm not starting Preston Williams or Isaiah Ford. But
Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki I got him at 14, you got him at 8. So I'm sitting him this week. I'm playing Hayden Hurst over Mike Gesicki in our league if we're gonna talk realistic start and sits
Yeah.
or what I'm do.
Yeah,
But,
so I'm a little higher on Mike Gesicki. I think Miami has a good offense, and we see good output, and we see some back and forth actually from that team. But I can't knock your take on. It's pretty close, and like you said, that's a tough call between Hayden Hurst and Mike Gesicki week in week out.
It's just for me. I started Mike Gesicki last week. He got me 2 points, and I lost, so I dropped him, and I picked up Robert Tonyan, who got 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
So I'm gonna start him when he comes back from the bye. So we'll see what happens with that.
See what happens with that, definitely. So 49ers side of the football, really this offense is pretty straightforward. It looks like you got to keep an eye on Raheem Mostert, and Raheem Mostert is a player that we actually had as a trade for, but if he plays, I'm airing caution this week. Going forward, I think he's going to be a fantastic player, but I think this week you got to temper expectations if he plays. I think, honestly, if you're a fantasy owner, you kind of hope he doesn't play and that Jerick McKinnon plays, just to provide some clarity, but...
Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't play. It's MCL sprain. It's like you don't want to go back too fast.
And I think that's a game they could win without him, so... If he's out, I'm definitely starting Jerick McKinnon. He's definitely a flex play, but
yeah, I'm starting Jerick McKinnon.
Yep.
As well.
And it looks like we got Deebo Samuel back. I'm not starting Deebo Samuel until Jimmy Garoppolo gets back, and even then, I'm still waiting till they build a rapport. But George Kittle obviously is a must start every single week. Had a huge game last week, like 12 catches for like $180. And yeah, you're starting him every single week. Going to be a top 2 tight end every single week. Just going to be him and Travis Kelce neck and neck every single week for that top position, that top ranking.
Yeah, that's how it was last year. It looks like it might be the same this year. And a player to keep an eye on is Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might get him involved in the offense more. And they've already been doing it the last 2 games, but he's not a start yet. I don't even know if he's a roster yet, but just watch how they keep using him. He might start to become go grab him, waiver wire target.
Yeah, definitely. And, we actually, one of our number 2 streaming defense was actually the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I have him at number 10.
Yeah, I think that's a really good play this week. I have him at number 8. So, I think Nick Mullins, we definitely just see some turnovers, potentially see a pick 6. So, I think go ahead and fire them up. Now, we'll move on to the next game, though, here. We'll go to the NFC least matchup of the Giants versus the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys might be able to pull one out this week.
I think someone has to win this game. I mean, who knows? They'll probably end up in a tie.
Could be a tie. You're right.
But
already.
Yeah, I guess we'll.
I think Dallas is too good to get a tie.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're sitting Daniel Jones. He cracks the top 20 for the first time this week. He could have a pair of touchdowns, but running back situation is just a mess now. Devonta Freeman got 11 carries and really didn't look good with it. I'm staying far away from all of that.
I agree. Not yet.
Yeah, I really think the only player on the Giants team I can start right now is Evan Ingram. He's going to be a top 12 tight end every single week, and then receivers like Darius Slayton, I guess, has the upside, but Daniel Jones is really limiting that entire offense and does not look good.
I agree. He's their leading rusher, but other than that, not good. Um, but Darius Slayton does have the upside. I'm high on him because of that. I think I have him top 40.
Yeah.
Uh, I wouldn't want to start him, but like if you got a bunch of guys on bye or whatever, looking for a flex, start him.
Mm-hmm.
I got my two.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll start Evan Ingram, but
We'll start Evan Ingram.
yeah. As far as the other side of the ball, though, it's a really fantasy-friendly offense. It's, again, pretty easy. Dak Prescott, must start every single week. Going to be a top 5, top 6 quarterback every single week. Ezekiel Elliott,
Yeah.
top 5 running back every single week. And this is Amari Cooper, obviously a must start every single week. We thought we were going to see Michael Gallup. He had a big game, and then he disappeared. So it looks like it's CeeDee Lamb is the clear-cut number 2 target in this offense, and it's such a passing-heavy offense and they have such a bad defense that CeeDee Lamb is going to be a great play going forward every single week.
I agree. I don't want to say give up on Gallup, but I don't have him in my top 40 this week, and I would expect CeeDee Lamb to have more production throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'd be getting real close to giving up on Gallup in a 10 or 12-man league.
I'm not playing him this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So, I think we might eventually see something out of the Dallas tight end, Dalton Schultz. But I'm going to wait another week. But I think Dalton Schultz could be that third option that a player like Gallup was supposed to be.
Rosterable, but, I don't want to start him at tight end unless you don't have any of the guys ranked higher than him on our list.
Yeah, definitely. But I think he's going to have some good upside going forward in some games.
I agree. It's just being on that Dallas offense, they're averaging over 30 points a game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so CeeDee Lamb's been a great story this year. He's been a great player, and I think he's going to be just a phenomenal wide receiver, fantasy relevant player going forward this year. He's going to win people a lot of games.
Yeah, I drafted him. I was very high on him. I traded him away in a package with Clyde Edwards-Helaire for DeAndre Hopkins. But I think the guy I traded CeeDee Lamb for should start him the rest of the year, especially on his team.
Yeah, definitely. So, are you starting the defenses in this matchup?
I'm not starting Dallas's defense.
I have them at 13, just because I think they get a couple sacks and a turnover. But that's 13, so I'm not really.
Negative last week, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, Cleveland put up 49 on them, so I totally understand if you can't do it. I also wouldn't do it in anything but a 14-team league, but I do got them at 13. So, based on a couple of sacks and the Daniel Jones inevitable interceptions or fumbles.
Is Vander Esch, is he healthy?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next game then. Broncos versus Patriots. It looks like Cam's gonna play as of right now.
COVID Cam is playing
I think COVID Cam might be playing.
with a mask and a face mask. I don't have him ranked right now because I thought it was 2-week quarantine. I thought those were the rules, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the NFL is doing like
The
a.
NFL makes the rules, so we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll start out then with the. We'll start out with the Broncos, and last week this guy was on our waiver show. Tim Patrick had a great game. Jerry Jeudy also had a great game, and Melvin Gordon had a great game. They were playing the Jets.
Yeah, all three had a great game. I'm playing somebody this week who's starting Philip Lindsay. So I don't know if that's a play, but
I don't
it's a
think
play
it
in our
is.
league. It's a play
We got a
in our
question,
league.
heads up, Jake, from Blue Crew Chat. 10-team PPR. I have one RB and one flex spot open. Who should I fill it with? Kenyon Drake, Melvin Gordon, David Montgomery, or Joshua Kelly? I also have Higgins and John Brown. Melvin Gordon
let's say
for sure, right?
Gordon. Yeah, Gordon and
It's tough.
Kelly.
Yeah, we actually haven't gotten to the Chargers game yet. That's the Monday night game, and right now we have Kelly ranked. I have him at 20, and you have him at 26. Justin Jackson was on our waiver wire show. So okay, so we're definitely saying Melvin Gordon, right?
Yeah,
It's a tough
I'm
matchup,
starting-
but you got to start Melvin Gordon based on volume alone. Man, Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, probably Kenyon Drake. That's probably it.
Yeah, I think Joshua Kelly. I think with Joshua Kelly and Justin Jackson, I think because there is two, we don't know how it's gonna look. Austin Eckler is gonna miss time. Wait a week and see, and play the guys that you know are gonna get the touches this week, and that's Kenyon Drake and Melvin Gordon. But
Well, hopefully Kenyon Drake doesn't get the wind knocked out of him again. You never know. But, yeah, I say that's a good one. Yeah, I'd probably do Drake just because
they're playing the Jets,
where
you know.
drafted him. Yeah, and where you drafted
They're
him,
playing the
too.
Jets.
And they're playing the Jets. They're playing the Jets, so
Yeah.
you like the matchup.
Yeah, but definitely, I'll say this. I definitely feel probably better about Joshua Kelly for the next little bit over David Montgomery, and John Brown and Higgins have a lot of upside at a WR2 flex play. So those are some good players you got, man.
Yeah, those are two upside players with Higgins and Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. So go with Melvin Gordon and Kenyon Drake this week. You know they're gonna get the touches. Let's see, where were we? We were talking about the Broncos.
Yep, and yeah, we're starting the receivers. Is Noah Fant?
He's doubtful, so it looks like he's gonna sit. So, but yeah. So Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick. Jerry Jeudy looks like he's gonna be like kind of a must start flex play. Like it seems like you gotta figure out a way to get him in your lineup. He's really talented.
I agree. I just against New England, maybe not.
Yeah, this week is a tough matchup, but on a better matchup, I think him and Tim Patrick you can definitely start.
Yeah, I like both of them. I'm really high on Tim Patrick. I think he's going to be the Cortland Sutton of last year.
Yeah. So do you want to go? We'll go to the other side of the football, and yeah, I'm not totally sure if Cam's gonna play, but either way, you start Cam if he does play. If he doesn't, you're not starting anyone. As far as running backs go, looks like Damian Harris had a big week last week, and I mean he had 17 touches for 100 yards on the ground. Had a couple nice long runs, but it's just
it's New England.
It's New England.
Next week it means Damian Harris gets the least amount of touches, and new man is going to be Burkhead or James White is going to get the ball.
Which I honestly think are safer to week plays just because they have a lot more passing upside, and I think at the very least, if I'm going to start someone, it's going to be a James White, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I say
with
that so
the-
tentatively.
If you're playing PPR, those two I like better than Damian Harris. Damian Harris is going to be the guy getting the ball on the ground for sure. Um, I don't like starting running backs when they have three guys getting the ball. It's just
Yeah.
teams I avoid the running backs.
Yeah. So we're not really starting any Patriot players. We might start Julian Edelman, but we've got him outside the top 30 this week. I'm going to be honest. I do think, though, that if...
I like N'Keal Harry if Cam Newton plays.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
If Cam doesn't play, both these defenses are must-starts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely must-start defenses.
New England's a must start no matter what, and I'm higher on Denver if Cam Newton doesn't play.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Let's go to the next game then. We'll go Colts at the Browns, starting with the Colts. We're not starting Philly Rivers in any format. You can just do a lot better than that.
It's too old for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan Taylor, though, must start every single week.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is my favorite draft pick so far. He's inherited a great situation for him with Marlon Mack being done for the rest of the season, and it looks like he's going to be the RB1 to go. Naeem Hines is going to get some work too, especially in the passing game. But I like Jonathan Taylor, and I'm even comfortable maybe flexing Naeem Hines.
Mm-hmm. I think especially if you're in a PPR format, yeah, in a deeper PPR format, you could definitely start Naeem Hines. Obviously, yeah, Jonathan Taylor must start. T.Y. Hilton, though, is just tumbled farther and farther from the rankings. He's not even in the top 40 for us, which
I think he definitely does. Philip Rivers does not help him out any.
No.
Like, it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. Mo Alley Cox, again, Philly Rivers just, it's a defensive team that runs the football. That's their identity. So I'm not really too high on any of these Indianapolis pass catchers.
Mo Alley Cox is maybe he's got red zone upside. They on the TV they compare him to Antonio Gates all day.
They compare
Just
every
Phillip
big tight end to Antonio Gates.
He played basketball too. He played for VCU, so that's why as well. But yeah, but Indiana's defense, I am starting. I like them. They've number one defense so far.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go to the... Sorry, I lost my position here. Other side of the football, big injuries on the Browns. Nick Chubb looks like he's going to be out for 6 weeks, placed on injured reserve. So that skyrockets Kareem Hunt's value. We're not going to start Baker Mayfield, especially against this matchup. This is a tough matchup, but even in a tough matchup, Kareem Hunt, I have him ranked 6. You have him at 9. And I think Kareem Hunt, the sky's the limit when Nick Chubb's out for him.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, I think Kareem Hunt was my first round fantasy pick. So,
and I think that's what you're going to get the next couple of weeks. I think they see, again, Browns are just committed to just pounding the football 35, 40 times a game. And I think Kareem Hunt's going to get 20-plus touches this week.
yeah, I agree. And if you were one of the people to pick up Dearness Johnson off the waivers, I think you can maybe go flex him and see what happens.
Yeah, I think he can get double-digit touches. If I was in a 10 or 12-man league, I'd wait a week, but I think he could definitely turn out for the next 6 weeks to be a really, really solid player.
Yeah, if he can just plug into the second running back that the Browns are gonna want to use,
Mm-hmm.
be
Yeah,
productive. That's a fantasy
I
play.
think we're gonna get some really good weeks out of him. Last week we obviously saw the explosion of Odell Beckham getting touchdowns from not Baker Mayfield, and he was on our
And then
trade list.
in the preview, we told you to go trade him.
Yeah,
So that means you're starting him this week because you drafted him. But and you hope he has a great week again, so you can trade him.
yeah, but I just again we've he's a player we'll talk about a lot. Is you just gotta temper expectations for Odell. He has super high upside, but it's just about his ADP. Um,
Again, he only caught one of those 3 touchdowns was from Baker Mayfield.
yeah, all right. We got a question from K Ellis Talks. Full PPR 10 team. 1 to 3. Watson. Watson, A. Rogers, DJ Moore, DJ Chark, Robert Woods, AJ Brown.
So you giving us this whole team? What's going on? Rogers got a bye.
Would y'all do Watson, Mixon, Moore for Lamar? No.
Not as of now.
Or Moore and Woods for.
You said Joe Mixon for
Okay,
Lamar
sorry.
Jackson.
I'm just trying to understand the team. Okay. Question is, we'll break it up. DJ Moore and Robert Woods for Devontae Adams. Other receivers are AJ Brown and DJ Chark. So I'd say yes.
Yeah.
If the guy trying to trade, if you can do that, yeah, definitely get Devontae Adams.
When healthy is back.
Or even Mixon, Woods, Moore, AJ Brown, Watson for Lamar and Devontae Adams. I suppose if you could do that, but like that just seems like that maybe it's a little too much. A-Rod, I'm trying to think. A-Rod,
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. If you have Aaron Rodgers, you should not be playing Deshaun Watson and not be trying to trade for Lamar Jackson.
I mean, you're playing Deshaun Watson this week.
Yeah, this week. I mean, A-Rob, Allen Robinson.
Oh, don't trade Allen Robinson.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
He said DJ Moore and Robert Woods for Devontae Adams. Which, yeah, if they do that, for
if
sure.
you have Allen Robinson, yeah, do that.
And
Then
DJ
you
Chark.
plug Allen Robinson and Devontae Adams when he's healthy in. DJ Chark is a flex, a guaranteed flex, or you can plug him in if Adams is hurt.
Yeah.
So I like that trade for you. Moore has not been what you hoped he was, and yeah, that's a good trade.
Yeah, and
And
AJ
Woods
Brown
is
can
good.
come back and be really good. So you got a lot of depth at wide receiver.
Yeah, great depth. And you, in my opinion, move up from 2 WR2s to a WR1, which I like.
Yeah, definitely. So we were at Odell Beckham, high end flex play, low end WR2, with just big upside. But Jarvis Landry didn't crack our top 40. This is just a really tough matchup. So
He got 4 points off a passing touchdown last week and still didn't have 10 points. So I'm not going for him.
yeah, absolutely. And so For the Sunday night game, which I am not excited to watch. Never excited to watch Kirk Cousins primetime football. But I think some points could be scored. We got the Vikings versus the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, some points are going to be scored.
I hope so.
I'm guessing about 60, 70.
Yeah, so Kirk Cousins, if you watched the Tuesday show, was a streamer option at quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he go ahead and put Kirk Cousins in your lineup, and you could don't expect anything crazy, but I think he gets you 20 points. I've got him at 13, but he could definitely be a top 12 play.
We saw it from Fitzpatrick last week. Why not Kirk Cousins this week?
Yeah, absolutely. Seattle just can't stop anything through the air, so hopefully we attack that. Dalvin Cook, man, 6 touchdowns through 4 games. You're going to start Dalvin Cook and not think twice about it. Same goes with Adam Thielen, I'll say. Adam Thielen's definitely a must-start, especially this week. Again, Seattle is just a terrible, terrible pass defense.
Yeah, I agree. They just let them run wherever they want to.
Yeah. And so we'll talk about the star of the last 2 weeks, which is Justin Jefferson. He was our trade. He was on one of our trade targets. I'm super high on him the rest of the year. I think he's going to just continue to climb the rankings and be in that Stephon Diggs role.
I agree. He was one of my late round draft picks, and I think this is the first week he's going to crack my starting lineup.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play. I mean, you just got to go with the production and what's been working and what's been hot. And, you just got to adjust as a fantasy owner, and starting Justin Jefferson is definitely something you got to do.
Yeah, I actually am starting him over Terry McLaurin this week. So we'll see how that works out. And Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
So
I
actually have Tyler Boyd ranked higher than him, though.
No, you don't. He's just a little...
No, I don't. Nope, I have Justin.
He's a little higher in the consensus because I have
Okay.
him 18 and 19. So, but
Okay.
huge upside again. So, on the Seahawks side of the ball, it's pretty easy too. It's there's kind of 4 must-start guys. Russell Wilson is must-start. Chris Carson, when he's healthy, is must-start. And then this is just incredible how they're supporting 2 kind of top 10 fantasy wide receivers every single week in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean, Lockett didn't have the production last week, but throughout the season, top 10 production, absolutely. And I think DK Metcalf is the one I'd rather have.
Yeah, he's my number 1 wide receiver this week.
And it's just, I think he's going to be a star in this league.
Yeah, I mean, he already is.
Yeah.
Greg Olsen got a touchdown last week. I'm still not really going to start him, though. It's just they scatter the ball around a lot. And it's just about those 3 guys on that offense. No, obviously Russell Wilson, but Chris Carson and Metcalf and Lockett are the skill positions that it's all about. So
For fantasy, absolutely.
yeah, so I'm not really gonna start any of these defenses. Maybe I'd start Seattle if I think I had to, just because they're at home and it's a Sunday night. So there's definitely a potential of a Kirk Cousins flop. So
Yeah, he's known to turn the ball over.
So-
but we're going to bank him not doing that this week.
yeah, so if that happens, Seattle could be a great defensive play. So that's a Sunday night game. We'll take things to the Monday night game. We got the Chargers versus the Saints. So we'll talk. Well, yeah, we'll start. We'll kick things off with Justin Herbert, and I actually think Justin Herbert is a lot better for this offense than Tyrod Taylor was, and I think he could be a really good player going forward when they have good matchups.
I agree. I think you might be able to stream him this week, depending on if you maybe have like an Aaron Rodgers on bye or something.
Yeah.
And Eddie Bridgewater's already swooped up. I'd go ahead and think about Herbert.
Yeah, it seems like they're committed to just letting him throw the ball, and he looks good while he's doing it. So, Justin Herbert, I think, is the streamer option this week for me. I've got him at 14. You've got him at 15. So,
I got him at 13.
yeah, like you said, if you had an Aaron Rodgers or someone's on bye, or Cam Newton or Matt Ryan, you're not feeling too good about it, definitely go ahead, fire up Justin Herbert. Now, this is the kind of section I want to talk about, and that's the Chargers running backs. Obviously, Austin Eckler's going to be out with significant time. Right now, we have both of those running backs ranked in the lower 20s and the 30s, respectively, and I think I'm going to kind of keep them there this week, but I do think that's just me erring on the side of caution and wanting some clarity in that offense.
I agree, but I think they both have huge upside. Just being Chargers running backs.
Yeah. I think, I guess if I have to go with one this week, it's Josh Kelly, but I could very well see Justin Jackson taking over the touches. But I think we'll see. I think for this week, if I had to start one, it's going to be Kelly. I think I feel pretty good about Kelly getting a bunch of touches, but also just don't be surprised if Justin Jackson out-touches him on the ground at least.
They're both going to split touches, both probably going to be flex options.
Mm-hmm.
Flip plane. I can't tell you.
Yeah, and I think we'll get some answers on that this week. I think if I had both on my team, I'd throw out Josh Kelly just because he's gotten the touches in the past.
Yeah, I think I'd agree.
Keenan Allen, we're starting.
Monster. Start him.
Yeah, I've got him. You've got him at 9. I've got him at 11. Just the PPR machine. Gonna get the targets. Gonna get the catches. And Justin Herbert just throws the ball well.
Yeah, and he's throwing to Keenan Allen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You're starting Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen's been great. Tight end, Hunter Henry.
Start him.
Start him. He hasn't been kind of the player you've wanted so far, but I think this could be a week where he finally sees the end zone, and he's got a really safe floor.
That's how I feel about tight ends. Like, yeah, maybe he hasn't seen the end zone as much as like a Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, but he's getting 5 catches a game, so.
Exactly, and that's pretty much if you can guarantee 5 catches a game, he's probably getting like 8 targets a game.
Yeah.
So
Feel pretty good about him. I'm obviously not going to start the defense on the Chargers, but on the Saints side of the ball, Drew Brees is a player we've talked about a lot, and how we're just exercising caution on him, and how we're probably not going to start him maybe on the weeks where he's playing Carolina, but even then, it just seems like they're committed. The Saints are committed to such a run-heavy offense now.
yeah, they got Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara just dominating the ball carrying. They just get the ball more than anyone else.
Yeah, definitely. So, Drew Brees,
We might see him get more fantasy points with Michael Thomas coming back if they have the same awesome connection they've had in the past. But without Michael Thomas, I don't like Drew Brees' fantasy numbers.
Yeah, no, not at all. So I'm waiting on Drew Brees. Alvin Kamara is obviously a must start. You have to ask us about that. Obviously, well, not obviously. So Latavius Murray, I think, is getting closer and closer to becoming somewhat fantasy relevant and getting double-digit touches every single week.
I'm agreeing with that. I picked him up off the waivers real quick early in the season, and He hasn't cracked my lineup yet, but I'm pretty sure he will during a bye week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Michael Thomas is questionable. Looks like he might play, so I've got him as a... I mean, again, if Michael Thomas plays, you play Michael Thomas, right?
You have to. I mean, you drafted him number 2, and he's gonna be on the field. So
Yeah.
unless you have a guy that's in our top 20 that's above him, you're probably gonna start Michael Thomas. I have him at 20, just on the cautionary side, just because questionable.
Yeah, I have him at 12, and I'm a little wary about that. I do feel good because he does have the extra day, but I'm looking at the rankings right now, and if between like I might think about a Justin Jefferson over a Michael Thomas as a safer play. I mean, if there's a setback on Monday morning or something, have a Traquan Smith or a Emmanuel Sanders if you're planning on that.
Absolutely. I was just about to say that. I was like, for Monday night and injury guy, you gotta have a backup plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Don't know that by now. Figure it out.
yeah, and especially against a team like the Chargers, if Michael Thomas doesn't play, it bodes well for an Emmanuel Sanders. I think you could plug him in maybe, but again, I think Michael Thomas is going to play, it looks like. So we're starting Michael Thomas, obviously. Jared Cook, I just think with the depth at tight end this year, you can just do a lot better. And Drew Brees isn't just... He's not the quarterback of old.
Yeah, and he's also questionable, so I left him off my list.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, that was the Monday night game. It's kind of the start and sits for all the week. You can always, as always, ask us any questions in the comment below. Make sure you check out the full-length sports podcast on Spotify. We cover all sports across the plane, specializing in Minnesota sports. NBA finals are going on, so check that out. Again, make sure you follow the socials, Instagram, Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. We'll be going live every Wednesdays, and then we'll have a show for you on Tuesdays giving a fantasy preview. It's been real. It's been fun. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate every one of you guys who dropped in and gave a view and asked a comment. We appreciate interacting. We do enjoy interacting. It's fun to hear other people's fantasy teams. We always enjoy those questions.
Yeah, what he said. Thanks again, everybody. Tune in next week for some more fantasy football spectacular news.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope this helped a couple of you guys out. We'll see you next week.